What's good, everybody? It is Tuesday, May 16th, 2022. 2023. This is your daily sports betting brand of record. We like to call it the Early Edge. We are powered, as always, by the almighty SportsLine, the best value in all sports betting, and it's not close. This is the day that we begin our week. We do everything different from everybody else. So, as always, we got to take a look back at what we did yesterday, and kind of a ho-hum day. Everybody except for EC had a win yesterday. Very interesting. But we don't like just to win a little bit, so we got to start off fresh. We got to start off right. So what do we do when we have the Western Conference Finals? What do we do when we got baseball? What do we do when we got all of it? I bring in my absolute very best. Let's bring in the stars of the show. You know them. You love them. We're going right into marquee matchups tonight. It's the Lakers. It's the Nuggets -6. And look who I have. M-Squared, Zack Attack, the Sniper, Counselor, and Mikey B all fired up and ready to go. So, Mikey, I'm coming right to you, big boy. Tonight, can you believe this is what we've got? The Lakers on the road taking on the Nuggets. Are we fading or are we following the Nuggets as a 6-point favorite? Let's go.
Yeah, this one is tough, Coach. I'm going to follow the Nuggets in this spot. I like the Lakers to win the series in 7, though. I think it's a very fascinating matchup. I think on the Lakers side, the altitude is going to be an issue in the first game, not the second game. And then I also think that they're going to require some matchup changes, lineup personnel changes as well in this series. Just a drastically different matchup that they had against Golden State. You know, now you've got a big who is actually an offensive threat who can also pass incredibly well. The thing that I will say, though, I was very encouraged with the Lakers defensively and what they were able to do to Steph Curry. I think they'll be able to do the same to Jamal Murray. So someone is going to have to step up. I think the Lakers figure it all out throughout the series. I like the Nuggets to start with a win tonight.
I'm glad you pointed out the Darvin Ham adjustments. I thought he did a pretty good job in the last series of playing kind of ping pong a little bit as far as the adjustments and reacting. Mikey, thank you very much for that first take. All right, Counselor, I'm coming to you, big boy. We got a total 222.5 as well. Forgot to mention that. How are you leaning in this one?
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm not wearing this colored shirt by accident. I was on the Lakers against Memphis. I was on the Lakers against the Golden State Warriors. I was frankly on the Lakers at the trade deadline when they made those moves. And as far as what Mikey said about guys stepping up, we never know who's going to step up for the Lakers in terms of a third or fourth option. But we know every game somebody steps up, whether it's Russell, whether it's Reeves, Hachimura. There are so many, Lonnie Walker now. There are so many guys who can kind of be that complement to obviously the big two in Anthony Davis and LeBron James. And I like what they offer defensively. So I think 6 is too many points in a game that I think the Lakers could outright win. I know there's going to be some disagreement here. I know the line grew from 5 to 6. It could go up to 6.5, but I'll be on the Lakers here.
So let's ask Zack Attack. Do you agree or do you disagree with the Counselor that it should be the Lakers plus the 6?
Well, I'll get into that here in a minute because I do have a play on the side. But as far as a lean, I'll say the under on 222.5. Both teams are coming off competitive series against teams that have been to the NBA Finals, the Phoenix Suns and the Golden State Warriors. So I'm not going to discount that going in. And you've had a mini layoff as well. The Denver Nuggets 4 days off, the Lakers 3 days off when you've been playing every other night for the past couple of weeks. That is a big deal. And then what Mike kind of touched on, the personnel, the Lakers have shown they have vast depth. But now you need to retinker. How does Lonnie Walker get minutes in this series? How does Rui Hachimura get minutes in this series? Dennis Schroeder was elevated. How does he get minutes in this series? And then Bruce Brown, I think he's underrated of what he brings to the table on the defensive end of the floor. Usually see a fall off with the second unit, but he comes in and actually elevates the defense for the Denver Nuggets. So I like the under 222.5.
All right, so we've got an under. We got a couple plays on the Lakers. Also, Zack Attack has a play on this game coming up very shortly. Mikey B, close us out. Are you fading or are you following the Nuggets as 6-point favorites?
Yeah, I can't bet against the Nuggets at home, so I'll go with them as 6-point favorites. They are 30-16-1 against the spread at home. 6-0 there in the playoffs with 5 of their wins coming by at least 9 points. Lakers are just 21-25-1 against the spread on the road. The Jokic is going to be ready for this. He's played well against Anthony Davis this season, so you might think that Davis might be able to give him some trouble since he's one of the better defensive big men in the league. But I can't go against the Nuggets at home.
I feel like Snake is trying to do that little subliminal thing because he's throwing that graphic up with the 14 points at home on average and 6 wins. He's trying to tell us something. Snake, I think I know how you lean. Nuggets -6. Again, Zack Attack will have a pick on this game coming up shortly. But we've made the Sniper sit there long enough. He's like a caged animal. But before we get to Dog of the Day, we got to pay those pesky little bills. Here's a word from one of our sponsors.
Europe's most exciting title race continues with world-class clubs, legendary rivals, and unbelievable goals.
Brilliant! What a goal!
The Serie A lives here on CBS Sports Network and streaming live on Paramount+.
That's all right. Serie A lives here on Paramount+. Also, don't forget today, leg number 2, Champions League, 3 p.m. If you want it all, you can watch it on Paramount+. If you're a SportsLine member, we've got picks all over the board. All you got to do is go there and find it. Champions League today at 3 p.m. Eastern time. Now, let's get back to baseball. Sniper, I'm coming to you. It's time for the dog of the day. Here are our 3 choices. Tampa Bay, Boston, New York. There was some controversy last night, Sniper. The play-by-play announcer in the Yankees-Blue Jays game actually insinuated that somehow Aaron Judge was cheating when he was hitting his 2 home runs because he was looking to the right. Yeah. Bananas. Your thoughts on that quickly?
It's incredibly stupid. The Blue Jays use PitchCom. So, I guess they thought the Yankees might have hacked into the PitchCom system and they were using that great technology, but then they had such bad technology that they were having Judge look in the dugout to get the sign. If you're going to have that kind of technology that you can hack into something, you'd put a buzzer on them or something. Come on, let's be smart now. As far as the fair follow right here, is that what we're calling the segment? MLB underdog. I got really excited about that. Sorry.
I love it.
The Tampa Bay Rays are 21-4 when they don't play an AL East team. Last I checked, the New York Mets were not in the AL East. If they were in, they probably would get kicked out because they're 6-15 since April 21st right now. I know Justin Verlander's on the mound, but that's why we can get the Rays at plus money all over the Rays.
Let's go all over the Rays. Counselor, we got 1 for the Rays. What say you?
We got 1 for the Yankees. I really like Domingo Germán. I like what I've seen from him. I like Gausman too for the Blue Jays, but I think this number's a little out of whack, I should say. Gausman's been really good, but he's had some trouble spots, and I could see him having some issues with this Yankees lineup. So again, plus 150, it's just too big of a number for me to resist.
All right, so Yankees and a Rays. I saw somebody in the chat say that they won on the Cubs yesterday because they watched him squared on CBS Sports HQ, which we have another takeover tonight, tomorrow, and Thursday. Your boy hosting 6 p.m. Eastern. Mikey will be a part of it over the course of the next 3 days. He's always on CBS Sports HQ. So, Mikey, what are you picking in Dog of the Day?
There are 2 here that I like. We've already mentioned both of them. It's the Rays and the Yankees here. I think the number's a little inflated on the Yankees side. I make that one down to plus 130 here. I actually give the Yankees a slight edge in the pitching department, believe it or not. Not a true believer in Kevin Gausman personally. I think he is definitely going to unravel the rest of the season. On the Rays side, though, just extreme variance in this spot. Really good hitting environment overall there. And yes, obviously the name value on the pitching matchup is the reason why it's priced where it is. But once I don't expect a complete game shutout or by any means. I think we're talking 6 innings at most against this lineup. So give me the Rays here. I think they get it done against the bullpen.
All right, so the Counselor and M Squared, they agree. Also, Mikey, where can people find your golf analysis, all your golf stuff? Where can they find that?
That would be up on SportsLine right now. We got the simulated leaderboard up there. You can see my market price on every single golfer in the field for the outright and the top 20 up there. If you want to, you can use the calculator on SportsLine as well to be able to convert all those prices to percentages. If not, I've done the work for you on the outright numbers already. But compare those to your sportsbook odds, look for the largest differentials, and those would be the plays that I would be supporting.
And I had it written down here, but I thought somebody picked the outright winner last week at the Byron Nelson. I can't remember who did. Did you do that, Mikey?
We did. That would be one Jason Day. He's resurgent. His resurgence has been pretty incredible. I was happy to see him get that done. And actually happy to see him get it done against Scotty Scheffler. It wasn't like the field was weak overall, but it doesn't matter how weak the field is if the guy right there at the top of the leaderboard is Scotty Scheffler. It's a heck of a win for Jason Day.
And it was exciting to call it. And there was a nice mix of former major champions like Hideki, Scotty, and then Jason Day. And then for him to win it on Mother's Day a year after his mom died, it was just all in all a really good story. But guess where Jason Day is today? He's at Oak Hill in Rochester. So what did we do? Well, you know the great Steve Scott. We had him on for the Masters. He was amazing. We've invited him back. He took it a step further. He wants you at home to know exactly what you're getting into if you're going to be betting on a player at the Players Championship. They have to deal with this.
Here's a look from the front bunker here at 14. This thing is 8-9 feet tall. Ridiculously huge, bold, aggressive, as Andrew Green calls them. Big faces. Do not want to be here. This is a very tough up and down.
That means you want to bet on somebody that has a really good iron play. You don't want to be in there. We've got more of those videos at SportsLine on my feed, and Steve Scott will be a part of the early wedge with me, the counselor, Patrick McDonald, today at 3 p.m. Eastern time. But it all leads up to Thursday. And where can you find all of the action? Well, it's right here. It's our home. It's CBS.
One weekend in May, only the best are welcome. An invitation reserved for legendary players and future stars, challenging each other at one of the most extraordinary courses in the nation. A major moment awaits. The PGA Championship on CBS.
If you guys want to see debauchery, watch this week. One player yesterday said, hey, you can compete here if you can carry it 320 yards every time. Wow, it's going to be a very, very difficult week this week up in Rochester, New York. So that's exactly where we're going to start with my man that can do every single sport. So as you can hear, I'm a little bit under the weather, but I got a ton of energy today. But Mikey, I'm not going to do your intro. I'm going to wait for a really special day this weekend. But if you don't mind right now, I would love a classic M-squared team total to start us off.
Yes, Coach. Team total, and we'll hit the weather real quick as well. Got a few spots we're eyeing today. The Tampa Bay New York Mets game projecting a 15% increase in home run hitting and run scoring. And then Cleveland, Chicago, which is where we are headed for our pick here, projecting 20% increase in home run hitting and 20% increase in run scoring. Really strong hitting environment in Chicago. That's why we are on the Guardians team total over 4.5 runs. Plus 105 here. Love the payout on this one. Just a great weather spot overall, right? We've got temps in the 70s, double-digit winds blowing out. Also blowing out in an incredibly favorable direction for left-handed hitters. That is important with two right-handed pitchers on the mound, looking for guys with the platoon advantage. I'm projecting 6 left-handed hitters in the Guardians lineup today. That is significant because Lance Lynn has very extreme splits right versus left. Against lefties, allowing a 446 weighted on base average, 8 home runs already to them this year in just 18 innings of work. He's well past his prime here at this point. The issue for him is he's throwing the fastball way too much. It's a 92-mile-per-hour fastball, throwing it 45% of the time. Hitters, again, over 425 weighted on base average against this pitch. Look for Cleveland to obviously have the guaranteed ninth-inning team at bat, but really get after Lance Lynn here, put some pressure on him. Looking at park factors quickly, this ballpark in Chicago, Guaranteed Rate Field, it is a top 5 hitters park in all of Major League Baseball. That is especially true for home run hitting. It ranks second right behind Cincinnati, and especially true to left-handed hitters. It benefits the lefties. Great news with the righty starter on the mound. Let's go Guardians team total over 4.5.
Park factors, splits. Do you want to do the work? I didn't think so. Just listen and have your paper and pencil handy. I take notes every single time that man opens his mouth. Now, it's also important to remember that at the early edge, none of my guys talk to each other before the show. We don't allow it because we don't want to affect any of our decision making. But when you got 2 of the very best and you've got 2 incredible minds, sometimes their picks kind of come together. Counselor, you're up.
That dissertation was music to my ears because we have synergy. And anytime Mike and I have synergy, it usually ends up being a pretty good day. I've got the Guardians first 5 money line at Chicago. Of course, that's the White Sox we just talking about, captained by Lance Lynn today. And this is more of a fade on Lance Lynn than anything. Shane Bieber, I mean, he's been okay. When you look at his ERA, it's really good. If you look at his expected ERA, it's not so great. But this White Sox lineup, not super threatening. And for the record, Bieber over his last few outings, pretty good against the Detroit Tigers, the Yankees, the Red Sox. It's starting to look to improve for Shane Bieber, but Lance Lynn, he's been bad. He's been giving up all kinds of hits and runs. Over the last 5 games, he's given up 4.8 runs per game. That is not very good. And by the way, I'm not cherry picking sample size there. If you go the full season, it's about 4.8 as well. He's piling up the strikeouts, but he's just leaving it over the plate. The Guardians starting to hit a little bit better against the Angels. They were able to pile up some runs. And then, of course, we have this good hitting environment, which could adversely affect Bieber to some degree, but it's going to adversely affect Lance Lynn way more. So I've got the Guardians first 5 minus 135 to take it today.
Yeah, a reminder, 20% is what Mikey said. Maybe the over is something to look at too, perhaps, because of this good environment. Maybe you want to take a look at the over. All right. So M squared is gone. The counselor is gone. Now, Zack Attack's been sitting there with a little smirk on his face, almost as if he knows something that we do not. But we're going to go to the Windy City for Windy City, the Mile High City. That's like something Buckets would say. That's like something Buckets would say. Let's go to Denver by way of Chicago. All right, Zack Attack, you're up, sir.
All right, Coach. I'm actually going to start off with 2 baseball props. Jordan Montgomery of the St. Louis Cardinals over 6.5 strikeouts. Great plus payout here. Plus 140. I know you look at Montgomery and what he's done recently has only went over this K prop once in his last 6 starts, and that was 7 strikeouts against the LA Dodgers. But you assess his best performance of the season so far came against the Milwaukee Brewers on April 8th. Only allowed 3 hits through 7 innings, struck out 9 batters. I'm with him again here, over 6.5 strikeouts. And in the same game, William Contreras of the Milwaukee Brewers, I'm going to take him under half a hit, plus 160. We hit Dansby Swanson on the early edge in 5 with this same prop on Friday. I'm going to go with it here. Contreras didn't play yesterday. Limited experience against Montgomery. He drew 3 walks, 3 strikeouts, including 2 strikeouts on April 8th. Plus, he's seeing his brother on the opposite side with the St. Louis Cardinals. A little bit of pressure there. Let's go with Contreras under half a hit. And then the Denver Nuggets -6 against the LA Lakers. A lot of things we already discussed at the top of the show. Denver so strong on their home floor, 40-7. They have a chip on their shoulder. I know the Lakers have been great in game 1s on the road against the Memphis Grizzlies, against the Golden State Warriors, but very different intangible here is with a healthy Denver Nuggets team. The interior to perimeter play is so strong, and the Lakers haven't seen that. Memphis Grizzlies in the interior, down Brandon Clark, down Steven Adams, John Morant with the hand issue. Golden State Warriors limited in the interior. They traded away James Wiseman, tried the small ball. Not going to be the case with Denver Nuggets. Jokic playing that point center role is going to kick it out, shoot the 3. So many shooters on the Nuggets. They get the win, -6.
I'll tell you what, it's going to be a lot of energy tonight in Denver, isn't it? I'm excited about it. I really, really am excited about it. We'll have more picks on Early Edge in 5 this afternoon at 4 p.m. Eastern time. But the players are rested. They've had 4 days off. They're ready to go. This is going to be a lot of fun. A lot of fun. All right, Mikey B, I'm coming to you because Zack Attack just talked about his props that we love in baseball, and that's where we're starting. And you're also doing something a little bit different for one of your plays. Talk to me.
Yeah, we're going off the board here a little bit with going to do 2 baseball plays. So first we'll go to the Cubs and Astro games. We'll do no runs first inning at -130 on DraftKings. This is a great pitching matchup. For the Cubs, Justin Steele, he's got a 1.82 ERA and a whip just over 1. He has not allowed a run in the first inning in 7 of his 8 starts. For the Astros, Christian Javier, he has a 3.47 ERA and a whip of about 1 as well. He hasn't allowed a run in 7 of his 8 starts. What should also help Javier is that the Cubs lineup will likely be without Nico Horner, who's on the injured list. And then Cody Bellinger hurt his leg yesterday, so he'll probably at least be on the lineup for 1 day. So we'll do no runs first inning there for Cubs and Astros. And then another little bit of a strange one. We'll go to the Braves and Rangers game. No, this is not a soccer bet, but we'll do both teams to score at least 4 runs. That's plus 120 at Caesars. The Rangers, they've scored the 2nd most runs in baseball. The Braves are tied for the 5th most runs scored. Starting for the Rangers, Dane Dunning. Now, he has better numbers this season, but it's mostly been out of the bullpen. 8 of his 10 appearances have come out of there. But he has just 19 strikeouts and 31 in the 3rd inning, so he's not missing a lot of bats. He's had a whip of at least 1.43 in both of the last 2 seasons. The Braves are going with Jared Schuster, calling him back up from AAA. He made 2 starts for the team earlier this season. Didn't make it out of the 5th inning in either of them and allowed 4 runs in both. So we got 2 good lineups, 2 not so good pitchers, plus odds. Can't resist it.
You're damn right. By the way, this game hit the over last night, and the Rangers didn't even score.
12-0.
12-0. 12-0 last night.
Rangers coming back tonight. Bats are coming back.
Damn right they are. By the way, I cannot remember. I'm sure it's happened where Buckets has played a game. Both teams have scored 4 goals. Probably didn't hit, but I think he's done that before. Now,
I'll leave the soccer plays to you, Coach. I don't want to.
So somebody in the chat, I believe it was Zach, said that the early edge is just better when the sniper is on. And I agree with that. So I have waited until this part of the show to put my man who was all over HQ, all over the early edge as much as we could possibly use him, and now in the maestro spot. So, Sniper, the floor is yours.
Okay, I'm going to start by picking on the Cubs, which I did rather extensively last night on HQ with M squared, and almost everything ended up working out, like I said. Tonight we're going to go over 7.5 strikeouts on Christian Javier. He's a strikeout pitcher by volume anyway, 35 strikeouts in his last 4 games. The Cubs, they've been a K machine recently. They struck out 16 times last night. They struck out 8 times against Framber Valdez. Even when they knocked him out after just 4 innings, they still struck out 8 times against him. In the Twin Series, they struck out 7, 10, and 9 times, respectively, against the starting pitchers. They're worse versus right-handers than they are lefties. Framber's a lefty. Of course, Christian Javier tonight is a righty. They're striking out over 10 times per game in May. So we love the Christian Javier strikeout prop there. A second pick, Mariners team total over 5.5. I know it's kind of a big number, but I really like the way the Mariners are playing right now. They're in Fenway Park. A lot of good offense coming in there. I think the hitting conditions are good tonight in Fenway. I'd have to double check with them squared on that. But Nick Pivetta on the mound for the Red Sox. He's just not very good in general. If you want to nail it down, an 8.39 ERA in his last 5 starts. The Red Sox bullpen right now is a mess. They've lost 4 in a row. Julio Rodriguez may be starting to show signs of breaking out of his early season slump, sophomore slump a little bit. I think he's going to have a big game, but in general, I like the over on the team total for the Mariners. And finally, Clayton Kershaw, 7.5 strikeouts is the number. We're going over on that. The Dodgers played 12 innings last night. That's why I was grumpy. I stayed up till the end of that game. It lasted until 2 o'clock Eastern. I thought with the pitch clock that wasn't supposed to be happening anymore, but it did happen. The Dodgers had to empty their bullpen because Syndergaard only went 4 innings. They were on their last legs there with Phil Bickford throwing. He was going to finish the game even if he had to go 9 innings. They're going to be looking for Kershaw to go a while tonight. The Dodgers – Kershaw has 39 strikeouts in his last 5 starts, and that's in only 31 2/3 innings. The Twins are brutal against left-handers, 203 average, 67 strikeouts and 7 starts against left-handers this season. That's the Twins. They're going to strike out a lot against Kershaw, and he's going to go deep tonight.
Sniper, full transparency. As you're talking, it was 5-2 in the 7th inning. I fell asleep. It wasn't until this moment that I realized that game went into extra innings and it was 9-8 was the final.
Yeah, the Twins hit Larnach hit a 3-run bomb in the 8th. Yeah,
I better check the scores next time. I was like, what the hell is he talking about? But of course, you were right, and I just need to stay up till the end of the game, like you did at 2 a.m. It was only 10:30 where I am. Mikey, real quick, hitting environment in Boston. What does your numbers say today?
Yes, good environment. A good thing to talk about quickly here. So the reason why we don't talk about it being a massive boost is because it's a good environment on its own. It's a very neutral day there at Fenway, around 5% boost overall run scoring. That doesn't mean it's not significant. It's still a strong park. It always is. What I like to point out is things that are abnormal for that individual ballpark and not necessarily look at ranking environments across baseball as a whole. So yes, Fenway definitely one of the top environments for hitting and run scoring today.
I just wanted to hear that it wasn't negative.
Yeah, so no negatives. No, if you get a negative at Fenway, I definitely will point that out because that's usually a situation where you want to take note for sure.
All right. And as soon as baseball or basketball's over and NHL is over and we have a little bit more time on the show, we're going to start the weather report every single day. Just right now, we have to pick and choose our spots. All right, great job today, gentlemen. Great information today, as always. Do not forget, by the way, real quick, before you put up the recap screen, raise your hand if you're on HQ today, tomorrow, or Thursday. Look at that. And Mikey B and Snyder sitting there going, no, not us. We're not going to. You guys.
Guess I didn't do a good enough job last night. I'll just have to do better next time if there is a next time.
I know EC gets priority over me, so it's okay.
You had to bring us down, or
sorry.
Bring us up. That actually got me up a little bit. All right, grab your paper, grab your pencils. Here is the recap, courtesy of the Snake on the 1s and the 2s. We'll start with M squared. He's on the Guardians team total over 4.5, a 20% boost today. Then the counselor, same game, different bet. Guardians first 5 money line, -135. We love first 5 Sia. Then Zack attack 3 plays. Nuggets -6. Contreras under a half a hit, meaning he has to go over. plus 160. Then Jordan Montgomery over 6.5 strikeouts, plus 140. My guys think there's going to be a lot of strikeouts tonight. Mikey B, Cubs Astros, no runs in the first inning, minus 130. That is instant gratification. You don't got to wait very long. Then Braves Rangers, both teams to score at least 4 runs. Again, plus money at plus 120. Then the Sniper, 3 props. Christian Javier over 7.5 Ks. Mariners team total over 5.5. Clayton Kershaw over 7.5 Ks, minus 125. And a quick reminder today at 3 p.m. Eastern time, the great Steve Scott will join us once again for the year's second major preview. Myself, the counselor, Patrick McDonald, and Steve Scott, all your best bets. The information from on site at Oak Hill. That's how deep we are diving for you at home. So with all that being said, there's only one thing left to do. And I believe you all know what that is. You've got your marching orders. Let's take all of these tickets straight to the pay window. Right, entire crew, Lobo, M Squared, Zack Attack, Sniper, Counselor, Mikey B, Snake on the 1s and the 2s. Everybody in the chat, thank you so very much. We're starting to ramp up. We're going to start trying new things. We're going to try everything that you want. If you have an idea, send it to us. We've got our eyes set on the fall. We want to make sure we are locked and loaded and ready to go every single day. I am the coach. We grind for you so we can win with you. It's what we're all about right here at the Early Edge. Good luck.